My name is Vakita Stuckey, and I will be presenting on Case 3, Safety Gloves Discharge with Just Cause. Next slide. Introduction. Hello, Professor. I am Vakita Stuckey, and today I am taking on the role of Labor Relations Manager of Barrera Recycling Company. My objective is to show that there was just cause in the dismissal of Erin McNamara for not wearing her safety gloves. Next slide. Labor Relations Manager. In this scenario, I am a Labor Relations Manager at Barrera Recycling Company. In this presentation, we will review why Erin McNamara was terminated and the events that led up to that termination. Next slide. Case context. Erin McNamara transferred from the Long Beach facility to the Los Angeles facility in January. She received a disciplinary 3-day suspension from her general manager in October. She received previous verbal reprimands for not wearing safety gloves, failure to wear a hard hat, and failure to wear the appropriate safety glasses. Before her suspension, she was also reprimanded for reading Sports Illustrated during work hours. She did not protest her suspension. December 9th, she failed to wear her safety gloves and was fired. Her suspension notice did state, should you violate any Barrera rules or regulations during the next 12 months, you will be immediately discharged. I will present 4 examples within the case that gives cause for discharge. Violation of safety rules, prior disciplinary history, immediate discharge clause in Article 20, and neglect of duty. Next slide. Violation of safety rules. The company had clear safety rules in place as outlined in Rule 11, which required the use of safety gloves when indicated by the manager. Erin McNamara and her colleagues handled potentially hazardous materials when sorting paper, tin cans, and bottles in 30-gallon plastic bags. But 2020, McNamara failed to wear safety gloves as required by her manager. This violation posed a safety risk not only to McNamara but also her coworkers and the overall workplace environment. Next slide. Prior disciplinary history. Prior to the discharge, McNamara had a history of disciplinary issues. She had received verbal reprimands and a 3-day suspension in October for various infractions, including failing to wear safety gloves, failing to wear a hard hat, and not wearing appropriate safety glasses. These prior incidents demonstrate a pattern of non-compliance with company rules and safety procedures, indicating a lack of corrective action on her part. Next slide. Immediate Discharge Clause, Article 20. Causes for immediate discharge, Section 1 of the Collective Bargaining Agreement plainly states refusal to comply with plant rules as a cause for immediate discharge. But 2020. McNamara's failure to promptly comply with the manager's orders to wear safety gloves falls under this category, justifying her immediate discharge. Next slide. Neglect of duty. McNamara's failure to wear safety gloves when required can also be categorized as neglect of duty under Article 20, Causes for Immediate Discharge, Section 1, Bud 2020. Her actions compromise workplace safety, which is a fundamental aspect of her job responsibilities. Reading magazines while on duty is also under the clause for immediate discharge in Section 1 of Article 20, which she was also reprimanded for. Was there just cause for discharge? My role as the Labor Relations Manager is to ensure that the termination process is fair, legally compliant, and conducted per the company policies. It is also important that I can advise managers on the proper disciplinary procedures, documentation, and communication throughout the termination process. Furthermore, I support interactions and negotiations between management and employee representatives. Lastly, I ensure disciplinary procedures were followed in all termination cases. Next slide. Action plan. To ensure the proper termination procedure has taken place, I need to complete the following steps. 1. Evaluate the situation, including documented incidents of misconduct. 2. Review company policies to verify there is a reason for termination and to stay compliant with the company's policies and federal and state laws. 3. Gather and review documentation to protect the company from any legal consequences. And 4, conduct a meeting with the employee to review any relevant documentation and clearly state the reason for termination. Next slide. In conclusion, based on the facts presented, it can be maintained that Erin McNamara's discharge was justified under the collective bargaining agreement due to her violation of safety rules, her prior disciplinary history, and her neglect of duty. My next slides are my references, and that is all I have for you today. Thank you.